Hello, this is Dr. Ned Hallowell talking to you from my home in Arlington, Massachusetts. How are you today? The first time I've come to you in daylight savings time. I hope it's a little brighter where you are. It certainly is here in Massachusetts. Today I'd like to talk to you about ADHD in the workplace. This is a topic I get a lot of questions on, and it's a huge topic, and I often say the most important accommodation is simply finding the right job. But of course, if you drill down, there's a lot more to it than that. So let me give you two more specific suggestions in terms of how to gain focus at work. And the two are to gain control of the two biggest distracting networks in your brain. The salience network and what I've called the demon, the default mode network. The salience network is the network that is the bright flashing lights, the bright flashing lights, the people that are walking by that want to get your attention, the interruptions, the new ideas, the flashing light bulbs, the knocks on the door, the pings, the pops, the bright new ideas that pop into your mind, the attractive person of whichever sex you're attracted to who walks by, the aroma of the food that's coming from the microwave or the kitchen, the many different distractors, attractors of the salience network that you have to be aware of and build whatever boundaries you can to prevent yourself from being swept up and taken away from the task at hand, whatever that task might be. And much of your job throughout the day to sustain focus is building boundaries, building walls, building whatever kind of barrier you can against these distractors, these drones of the salience network, both internal and external. Be creative. Think of what are the salience networks for you. Are they people? Are they ideas? Are they interruptions? What might they be for you? And then what are the barriers you can create? And then the other one, what I call the demon, the default mode network. This is the great bugaboo of the modern workplace, the default mode network. And the royal highway of the default mode network is the internet. This is where, I call it screen sucking. You go online, you've finished your task. You see, when you're engaged in a task, you're okay. The task positive network is engaged. Now don't be confused by the jargon. It's the TPN, the task positive network. But when you're engaged in a task, you're protected unless the salience network steals you away. So you've created barriers against that. So you're engaged in a task. But when you finish the task, then the mind just doesn't go to rest. The default mode network takes over. And what most people do when they have a moment to kill, they go to their email, they go to their screen. Watch out for that, because then you're into the default mode network and you start screen sucking, and you can stay in that default mode network for half an hour, hours. And this is the great time waster in the default mode network. Beware of that. Try not to go there. Try not to get into that royal highway into nowhere, into oblivion, into time waste, time dump, into where did my day go. That's where people with ADD waste their time, lose their job, lose their goal, lose their focus. And if it's not through screen sucking, if it's not through the internet, if it's not through email, then it's through something even worse. They sit back and they go into rumination. They go into self-attack. They go into, oh, I'm so bad. How did I ever get this job? I'm a phony. It's only a matter of time before I get found out. And they just go laying into themselves over and over and over and over again, Don't let that happen. Don't get caught up in the negative content. Why do you get caught up in the negative content? Because it's interesting. See, contentment is too bland. You don't say he was riveted in contentment, but you do say he was riveted in misery, in worry, in self-attack. Don't go there. Don't feed the demon, as I like to say. So what do you do to get out of it? Focus on something else. My suggestion is to focus on your breathing. Your breathing is always with you. So close your eyes and focus 5 beats in, hold 3 beats, 6 beats out, hold 3 beats, 5 beats in, hold 3 beats, 6 beats out. There's a great book by Brown and Gerbarg, Gerbarg, called The Healing Power of the Breath. You can go to Amazon and get it, Brown and Gerbarg. It'll give you many different patterns of breathing that you can use to focus on to get out of the default mode network. This is a lifesaver. This is not some arcane, bizarre thing that you have to go to Tibet to learn how to do. This is a lifesaver. You can keep it in your desk drawer. It'll save you. It'll get you back into focus. Those 2 tips, stay out of the distractions of the salience network and stay out of the distractions of the default mode network, and you will save yourself hours of wasted time, not to mention misery. It is a marvelous way to manage your ADHD in the workplace. This is Dr. Ned Hallowell, wishing you a wonderfully productive day at work.